And so long as it is not asserted that the Spanish parlia- parliament is an assemblage of actonices, Athenoses, pretty boys, and other like paragons, so long as the purpose of resorting theater of this legislate and not to philosophize or to wander through lina, dili kay na ko maklaro ma'am, imagina imig, imaginary Paris, we maintain that the government ought not to pose at the objections law has no skin, nor reasons, nostrils. So we see no serious reason why the Philippines may not have representatives by their institution. Many malcontents will be silenced, and instead of blaming its troubles upon the government as now happens, the country would bear them better for it could at less complaint, and with its sons among its legislators would in a way become dili basta di na ko maklaro become responsible for their actions. We are not sure that we serve the true interests of our country by asking the representatives. We know that the lack of enlightenment, the indolence, the idiotism of our fellow countrymen, and the boldness, the cunning, and the powerful methods of those who wish their obscurantism may convert reform into the harmful instrument. But we wish to be loyal to the government, and we are pointing out of in the road that appears best to us, so that its efforts may not come to grief, so that discontent may disappear if it so just as well as necessary as a measure has been introduced. The Filipino people are so stupid and weak that they are teacherous to their own interest. They then let the responsibility fall upon them. Let them suffer all the consequences. Every country gets the fate it deserves, and the government can say that is has done its duty. These are the two fundamental reforms which, properly interpreted and applied, will dissipate all clouds, assure affections towards pain, and make all succeeding reforms fruitful. These are the reforms since sinikibos none. It is the word where into the it is the fail to fear that independence may come through them. The free press will keep the government in touch with public opinion, and the representatives, if they are as they ought to be the best from among the sons of the Philippines, will be their hostages with no cause for discontent. How then attempt to stir up the masses of the people? Likewise, inadmissible inadmissible is the objection offered by some regarding the imperfect culture of the majority of the inhabitants, aside from the fact that is not so imperfect as is averred or averred. There is no plausible reason why the ignorant and the defective, whether through their own or another's fault, should be denied representation to look after them and say that they are not abused. They are the very ones who must need it to one ceases to be a man. No one forets his rights. Kakayanan pagiging mahina ng mga Pilipino sa ilalim ng pamahalaan ng Espanya. Narito ang pamamahala ng Espanya. Inilalarawan ang pagiging sunod-sunuran at mahina ng mga Pilipino na inihahalin tulad ng mga taong walang inisyatibo at madaling lokohin. Binabanggit ang kakulangan ng pag-unlad at ang pagiging atrasado ng Pilipinas kumpara sa ibang mga bansa. Pinupuna ang kawalan ng pag-unlad sa Pilipinas dahil sa kakulangan ng edukasyon at pagsasarili. Binibigyang diin na hindi ito likas na katangian sa mga Pilipino kundi resulta ng sistemang kolonyal. Tinalakay ang kakulangan ng tunay na representasyon ng mga Pilipino sa pamahalaan ay pinapakita na ang mga kinatawan ay hindi tunay na kumakatawan sa mga interes ng mga Pilipino at madaling maimpluwensyahan ng mga Espanyol. Binibigyang diin ang pangangailangan ng mga malalim na reforma sa bansa. Ipinapakita na ang mga mababaw na pagbabago ay hindi sapat at tunay na pag-unlad ay manggagaling lamang sa malawakang pagbabago sa politika at lipunan. Sinagot dito ang mga pagtutol sa mga iminumungkahing reforma. Ipinaliwanag na ang mga panganib ng pagbabago ay mas maliit kumpara sa mga pinakabang na maidudulot nito. Binibigyan diin ang mga pangangailangan para sa malayang pamamahayag upang matiyak ang pananagutan ng pamahalaan. Sinasabi ang kawalan ng inisyatibo at pag-unlad ng mga Pilipino ay hindi likas na katangian kundi bunga ng sistemang kolonyal. Inilarawan ang kawalan ng tiwala sa pamahalaan at ang pangangailangan ng pagbabago sa pangkatahan ng isang matinding kritisimo na kawalan ng kalayaan sa pagiging mahina ng Pilipino sa ilalim ng kolonyal ng pamahalang Espanya at nagbibigay din ang pangangailangan ng malawakang reforma at pagbabago. To civilization merely by being more or less uncultured and since the Filipino is regarded as the fit citizen when he is asked to pay taxes or she his blood to defend the fatherland. Why must this fitness be denied him when the question arises of granting him some right? Moreover, how is to be held responsible for his ignorance when it is acknowledged by all friends and enemies that his zeal for learning is so great that even before the coming of the Spaniard everyone called read and write, and that we now see the humble families make enormous sacrifice in order that their children may become a little enlightened, even to the extent of working as servants in order to learn Spanish. How can the country be expected to become enlightened under present condition when he see all the disgrace issues by the government in a favor of education met with Pedro Rizio, who prevent execution thereof because they have in their hands what they call education. If the Filipino then is sufficiently intelligent to pay taxes, he must also be able to choose and retain the one who looks after him and his interest with the product whereof he serves the government of his nation. To reason otherwise is to reason stupidly. When the laws of the acts of officials are kept under surveillance, the word justice may cease to be a colonial jest. The thing that makes The English must respected in their position. If position is their strict and speedy justice, today the inhabitants repose entire confidence in the judges. Justice is the foremost virtue of the civil civilizing races. It subdues the barbarous nations while injustice arouses the weakest. Office Offices and trusts should be awarded by competition, publishing the work and the judgment thereon, so that there may be stimulus and that discontent may not the bread breed. Then if the native does not shake off his indolence, he can da complain when he says all the officers fell by Castellas. We presume that it will not be the Spaniard who fears to enter into this context, for those will be able to prove his superiority by the superiority of intelligence. Although this is not the custom in the sovereign country, it shall be practiced in the colonies for the reason that genuine prestige should be sought by means of moral qualities, because the colonizers ought to be, or the least, to the same upright, honest, and intelligent. Just a man simulates virtues when he deals with strangers. The office and trust so earned will do away with arbitrary dismissal and develop employees and officials capable and cognizant of their duties. Office held by natives instead of endangering the Spanish domination will merely serve to assure it. For what interest would they have in converting the sure and stable into uncertain and problematical? The native is moreover very fond and peace and prefers an humble present to a brilliant future. Let the various Filipinos tell holding office speak in his matter. They are the most unshaken conservatives. We will and we could add other minor reforms touching commerce, agriculture, security of the individuals, and the property, education, so on, but these are points with which we shall deal in other articles. For the present we are satisfied with the outlines, and no one can what we ask so what say that we ask so much. That we And that's all, ma'am. Thank you.